Brothers and sisters of the celestial energy, what's going on, my brothers and sisters? All right, this is extremely important. I always want to reiterate different subjects because it's extremely important to reiterate different subjects. And the subject on the fact of the matter is we as the original beings, the so-called African Americans in so-called African Americans in South and Central Americans and Caribbeans are the most spiritual beings on the planet. I'm so serious. We're the most spiritual beings on the planet Earth. Why do you think there is such a great fight against our species? Look at the other so-called black races here on this realm. All the other so-called black races in Africa, I mean. And we get more attacks than anyone else. Those who are called African, they're pretty much like, hey, that's your religion, you do what you do, you do what you do. Anybody else, but we are the most attacked forces. Why? Because we're the originals. Us so-called African Americans and inhabitants of the Caribbean and inhabitants of South and Central America, us so-called African Americans and South and Central Americans and inhabitants of the Caribbean, because we're the most powerful and spiritual people in this realm. We're the most powerful beings. Those brothers and sisters, when they call Europeans, are brothers and sisters from the planet Europa, which is just outside of Europa. The Saxons say, oh, that's Jupiter's moon. You learn that the moons are inside of a realm called a planet and not outside of a realm. Europa is a planet just outside of Jupiter that orbits it. So those brothers and sisters, what you call Europeans in Germany and France and England, they're from Europa. Hi, Silent Night, I'm talking to you. And we said, us African Americans, we can come here, hang with us, whatever. The brothers and sisters from Jupiter's moon, Europa. And we got to see that we have an enemy at our doorsteps wanting to destroy us as the original beings, us so-called African Americans and South and Central Americans and Caribbeans wanting to destroy us. This is why they went through so much. We went through so much. Why they went through so much to miseducate us, get us to believe in this fake education system about we came from Africa, when in reality we've always been here. But they needed to destroy the mysticism of the original beings, our so-called African and South and Central Americans and Caribbeans. They needed to destroy the mysticism of who we are. We have mystical powers. We have mystical abilities. And this is the subject I've talked about a long time before, a few calendar years ago. I was talking about how the spiritual realm, the spiritual reality, outweighs the physical reality. This is something that we have got to understand, overstand. Because the physical and spiritual reality outweighs the physical reality by a whole life. Spiritual energy is so much denser than physical energy. And this is why when we do things, it literally shudders their entire system that they created. Because of the energy of the spirit realm. Understand this? And the spiritual reality literally destroys the reality that we created. When you see how we built things according to we're according to a spiritual process. It's a certain process that we did things. And we knew how to operate in that realm, in that reality. And this is why, we're talking about sorcery, talk about wizardry, we talk about witchcraft, you talk about the Sith knowledge, the dark knowledge. You go into these different levels of knowledge, finding that all these different levels that we had were efficient levels of power that allowed us to cause the physical to work in the spiritual. The spiritual reality is far more denser, far more power. How the heck did he get me? Than the physical could ever be, which is why we have an enemy who wants to turn us over to money, the things. You see the women out here, oh, the hair and all this here. Oh, your hair look like this girl, your hair look like that girl. That's all you can see is someone's hair. All you can see is someone's clothes, is someone's body parts, is someone's shoes. It's messed up. It's real messed up, man. Is the original beings, the so-called African and South and Central Americans and Caribbeans. This is where the society wants to take us, because they don't want us to be in a spiritual state or spiritual mindset. The spiritual outweighs the physical. We talked about this before. The spiritual outweighs the physical. All right, 200 to 1. Better yet, 2,000 to 1. When you say 2,000 to 1, you're talking about 1 unit of physical energy versus 1 unit of spiritual energy. 1 unit of spiritual energy is 2,000 times more powerful than 1 unit of physical energy. Because you understand this. Oh, Jesus Christ. So we are literally in a battle against an enemy who wants our minds to be in a physical concept and not a spiritual concept. You understand that? This is how we as the original beings are supposed to operate in the spiritual. So we must combine the spiritual reality with the physical reality, and therefore we come with the elemental reality. We talked about this before. It's important, brothers and sisters, that you understand this, because this enemy needs us to be on a physical level. They need us to worry about everything outside of the spiritual reality. So the more spiritual we become, the more spiritual we become, and the different levels of spirituality, just like you have your physical aspects of keeps your body going, just like the apple or the orange and the fruit carries it. Hey, get out of here. And the fruit carries a ton of spiritual energy. That's why you got an enemy who wants to taint the fruit. They want to taint the fruit. They want to taint the waters. The water taints lots of spiritual energy. So let's put a bunch of chemicals in the water. And then let's fuck the fruit up. Let's do this here to the fruit. This is what they're doing. Because they understand the spiritual properties of the physical aspect. And the trees themselves, you cut down the trees that are why. The trees have a lot of spiritual energy, which we don't want this energy on this planet, as if they can own something. This is where we have to come into this reality where we are literally the most powerful beings ever known. Because we are the most efficient beings as the original people. The so-called African and South and Central Americans and Caribbeans. It's us who literally changes everything. It's us who is targeted. What are they saying all the time? It's the African Americans and the Hispanics. Why are they always saying the African Americans and Hispanics? Because they know we are the originals. We're the ones who literally make the changes all over this freaking realm and planet. All right? We go back and we talk about the Orishas. And the Orishas were our ancestors. The Orishas were our ancestors. That's who the Orishas were. So when those brothers, the cousins of ours, who are in the land called Africa, those are our cousins. Those are the Europeans, the true Europeans, who are the dark-skinned, melanated people. You Silent Night, those are our cousins from planet Europa, planet Jupiter. The Lumerians are those from Jupiter, Australia. The Aborigines. I remember when I linked into planet Jupiter and I visited planet Jupiter by smoking marijuana, and the brothers and sisters, they were there, and he had blonde hair. He was dark complexion with blonde hair. He had hazel eyes, and the sister was dark complexion with blonde hair, and she had green eyes. And this was on the planet Jupiter. They told me that I talked to them and I said, "What about what they call the Aboriginal?" And they told me that was them in the area called Australia. They came from Jupiter, which is literally like a mountaintop of Lumeria that went under. All right. So that area is growing. That's why you got so many earthquakes there, because the land is growing. Everything is growing. And so we become more spiritual within ourselves. When you talk about the spirituality within ourselves, it's not limited. It's not limited. We have crystals, we have minerals, we have metals that we can use, we have chants, we have different dances, we have different things, we have the sigils that we can write, we have the fire, we have the water, we have the wind, we have the magnetic fields, we have the electrical fields, we have the spiritual reality. And we talk about the spiritual reality is vast, and we have all of the elements, and we have talk about all of the elements, and the elements create the spirituality of who we are as the original beings, brothers and sisters. So it's part when we understand, overstand that the spiritual reality of outweighs the physical. And it is up to the original beings to change everything. This is us, brothers and sisters. This is us. Like I said, this is why they want us, that we have an enemy who has made himself to appear to be powerful. All right? Like I said, they have made themselves to appear to be powerful. The appearance is only an illusion. The appearance is only an illusion. It's not real. They only made themselves appear to be powerful, when in reality, they have no power. They need us to believe that they are powerful so that they can lead us into a direction opposite of what we are supposed to be. And as the original beings, they need us to be opposite. You talk about a whole freaking land of the original beings, so-called African and Central and South Americans and Caribbeans, who they fear the most, because we're the ones that actually make the change. We're the ones that can make the change. We're the ones who can do this thing in. Look at what happened over in Libya. There's some brother and sister in this land here who got tired of the way these Arabs, or what are hybrids and Saxons and some other aliens, not us. They got tired of these Arabs, and what they do, they caused this huge storm to happen, and it flooded Libya. And a whole bunch of people, Arabs, died in Libya, because I'm tired of you Arabs treating my people this way. All right? We're the ones who, like we said, we're the ones who control the weather. We're the one who control everything. So it's important that we get back into our spiritual concept, because the spiritual energy outweighs the physical. That all these devices that they created to control the weather, the harp and all that stuff, our spiritual concepts can outweigh that shit, nigga. That's why we must build different things to build up the spiritual energy within our planet Earth, in our realm. Our planet Kai. They destroyed all of our ancient buildings and everything. It's our spiritual energy. You look at these old videos of the Chicago World Fair, the St. Louis World Fair. They had umbrellas and they had a whole lot of clothes on. The white people, to protect them from the energy of our sun. Our sun spills out huge levels of spiritual energy. Our moon has huge levels of spiritual energy. The spirit outweighs the physical 2,000 to 1, nigga. So for every 1 unit of physical energy, you got 2,000 units of physical energy, and the spiritual energy way outweighs everything. That's why they need us to be into religion. This is why they need us to be a part of this whole Jesus, God, Allah, Jehovah, Yahushua, Yahuda, Hinduism, atheism. They need us to be a part of Seventh-day Adventist and Methodist, Pentecostal. They need us to be a part of it. Atheism, they're fake science. They need us to be pulled away from our spiritual reality, because they know when we get into this physical reality, it literally lowers the spiritual energy in the realm. And now that we're becoming more active in ourselves and we're understanding what the fuck is going on, we're the ones that are literally making all the changes right now on the planet Earth, and they're scared of us. We talk about a whole enemy who's watching everything, every fucking thing that we're doing. When I say they're watching everything that we're doing. And they're taking notes, and we have to literally shift and change. Just like nature is unpredictable, we got to be unpredictable with it, which means we have to take a whole another position on everything. Understand over with, brothers and sisters. The enemy you're dealing with the enemy. It's cunning, because I'm not going to say there's wise, because there are no wisdom within these beings, but they're cunning, and it takes them a minute to study. They have to literally comprehend. Their level of comprehension is very low. It takes them a while to gain all of the information that they need to gain. But when we shift the energies, then they have to literally erase all of the books that they did and start all over. We didn't start all over. I'm making moves to destroy them. It's what we must do, brothers and sisters. We are literally the heart of this entire planet Earth. We so-called Africans, Central and South Americans, and Caribbeans were created directly by this realm. We are literally the heart of this entire realm. We are ones who literally make shit happen in this realm. I'm so serious, brothers and sisters. We make shit happen in this realm. And they're watching us heavily. They're stalking us. Like those who are, like I said, we are the only people in this planet Earth who would note it as black when that Israeli woman that said the problem with Israel is the black people. They didn't say nothing. They called Africans Africans. They called them Nigerians. They call them Kenyans. They call them Gambians. They call them Ghanaians and everything. That's what they call them. Ugandans. That's what they call them. They don't call them black. We're the only people on this planet Earth that they call black. When they say the black people are the problem with Israel, they're talking about the original beings, and they're talking about our awakening, because our awakening was causing a lot of problems over there, and that they're not reporting on the 6 o'clock news. So the spiritual energy outweighs the physical energy. 2001. Remember that. For every 1 unit of physical energy, the spiritual energy outweighs about 2,000 units. You understand that? And this is why we must return back to the spirit. This is why we must return back to where we come from. The spiritual aspects. Everything that we link into can literally be shifted into the spiritual, except for those who are not original to this planet. So understand, overstand, brothers and sisters, who we are is the original species, okay? And we literally carry the weight of this entire planet Earth. And we're the ones who are responsible. That's why those brothers and those sisters over in the land called Africa, we're waiting on those who are called the African, Central, and South Americans, the Caribbeans. They're the gods. They're the one who can make the change. It's us who can literally make the change, brothers and sisters. This is us. We're the ones that make the change. We're the ones that bring everything to an end, dealing with our enemies. I pass this on to I understand, overstand to you. And with that said, all power to the multi-celestial angelic beings, and may chaos reign within you and forever and ever. Remember, much power. Chaos is all, brothers and sisters.